If you're a gamer that keeps up with a lot of stories going around the gaming industry, you would know a little something about cloud gaming, services, games, and studios. Basically anything that involves money being injected into gaming. You would know about Microsoft diving headfirst into gaming and investing an obscene amount of capital into the gaming industry. You would see Google really trying to push their way into the gaming market. But most of all, you would see that Sony is really taking their PlayStation platform into a new direction with a lot of new news that's been spreading around. Because for a few weeks now, it would seem that PlayStation has been on the news on a regular basis. And while some of it has been a little negative and worrisome, a lot of it has been very positive and consumer friendly. But most of all, the news points to PlayStation future-proofing itself for the next generation of consoles and beyond. There's a couple of viewpoints about this, and I wanted to make it clear what I think Sony is trying to do with its gaming division. So let's all look at what's being announced and what we should expect for the future of the PlayStation platform. Because as we all know, PlayStation is the dominant platform in the gaming industry, and it's crucial that everyone knows what they're about to do. But before I dive into that, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the departure of Shawn Layden, who was a huge part of the PlayStation 4's success. As we all know, this generation, PlayStation dominated at every turn in regards to gaming, and this man was a huge part of the success. He was with the company since 1987 when he joined as a communications assistant, and for years he was a vital part of the company and was very loyal to the brand. So it came as a shock that he left the company he spent a career on. Not only is it weird that he left so suddenly, but he also didn't say anything on his Twitter account and no fanfare celebration happened. It was a very weird departure for everyone involved. The only thing that was said was on PlayStation's Twitter account when they said this: "It is with great emotion that we announce that Worldwide Studios chairman Shawn Layden will be departing SIE. His visionary leadership will be greatly missed. We wish him success in the future endeavors and are deeply grateful for his years of service. Thanks for everything, Shawn." Now, I'm not a guy with any insider information, and I honestly don't think anyone truly knows what happened with Shawn Layden and the rest of the PlayStation higher-ups. But what I do know is that it wasn't a pretty departure, and I think Shawn Layden was one of the few people at the company that wanted to keep PlayStation a traditional gaming company. Don't just take my word about this. Here's what GameDaily.biz article had to say on the matter. Layden's exit comes at a time of transitional upheaval, and not just with the next-gen PlayStation 5 looming, there's also the possibility of an internal power struggle which appears to stem from a corporate restructure back in April 2018, which is when Sony Interactive Entertainment truly went global. This is the least amount of clarity we've had on a new console this close to transition, the source said. I believe that the global restructuring is the exponentially exacerbating the already difficult process of transitioning to a new generation. And now we're getting nervous. Read, very nervous. Now, I understand this sounds confusing when I'm talking about Sony wanting PlayStation to stay ready for the future and future-proofing their platform beyond just next generation. I think this power struggle ties directly with what's happening with the larger picture of the PlayStation platform. Because we all know Shawn Layden is very traditional with his mindset of the PlayStation console and having exclusives and keeping everything in-house, or what most tech people know as end-to-end user base, which means keeping everything tied down to your platform and not letting anyone else use your software. And for a while, including this latest generation, this worked extremely well for Sony and PlayStation. But I think Sony sees the changing in the tides and wants to compete in the gaming market for not only next generation, but for future generations. And to do that, they have to change a lot of their more stubborn tendencies. And that's where we start to see Sony changing for the betterment of their platform. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen drastic changes to the PlayStation platform. More changes in the last 2 weeks than we've seen all generation. We've seen cross-platform being introduced to all developers on the PlayStation platform, and maybe, just maybe, the departure of Shawn Layden is the reason these changes are happening now. Now, we know for these changes to happen, they had to be in the works for a few months. But maybe for those months, Layden and Ryan were butting heads over them. And one day, Shawn Layden decided to walk away from Sony while he was on top. The article states as much when it says this: one point where Layden and Ryan clashed on was cross-platform services, specifically cross-play. Comparatively, Layden was more open to the future. Layden spoke at Game Lab 2018 in Barcelona. I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community, while at the same time supporting our business. Now, we all know what's happened since cross-platform has been introduced to all developers, and it's up to them if they want to do it, which a lot of developers have been asking from PlayStation for a few years now. And it would seem with the changes at the higher ups of Sony, this new feature will be a mainstay on the platform, further making the PlayStation ecosystem a much more engaging and enjoyable platform for gamers to invest in. It's something that all gamers should want no matter what platform you play on. Having cross-platform play and saves is vital to the future of gaming, because who would want to be locked down on one ecosystem and one console when they can play on anything they want and enjoy any game they want with the time invested in that game? Games like Destiny, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex, Minecraft, and Division 2 will benefit from this awesome feature, but mostly gamers will benefit. And I'm glad that Sony is starting to come around to this feature right before the next generation gets going, because it will be something that Microsoft and Google both will have going for them. Now, the next bit of information is probably the biggest part about why Sony is future-proofing their platform, and that has to be the cloud streaming portion of their business. We all know that Sony made a deal with Microsoft where they'll be able to pay Microsoft for their Azure servers and cloud streaming games, which is xCloud. And this last week, PlayStation cut their PS Now subscription in half and made it $60 for an entire year. Now people will be able to play God of War, Uncharted 4, and a bunch of PS4 games on the PC and PlayStation 4 console. It's such an awesome investment by Sony and brings a whole new set of gamers to the PlayStation platform. And this might have been one of the reasons Shawn Layden and Ryan had their differences. Here's what the article had to say. Another key point that Ryan has wanted to build around is cloud gaming. In June, speaking with the Financial Times, he said it was really going to start to push its cloud service, PlayStation Now, hard this year and in years to follow. After the service sputtered out of the gates, and with increasing competition from Google Stadia, Microsoft's Project xCloud, and even other subscription services such as Xbox Game Pass. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Competition is the greatest thing for the consumer, and that's exactly what's happening right now. With Google and Xbox pushing cloud gaming to its next iteration, Sony can't just let them get the leg up. So they have to compete in any way possible with this service, and it's awesome to see them future-proofing their platform once again. And for them to bring their biggest first-party exclusive, which of course is God of War, to the PC, which some consider outside of the PlayStation platform, shows that Sony is ready to make drastic changes to their business model. And they have to do that because of the increased competition in the gaming market. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that PS Now and PlayStation don't have to do anything else. No, that's far from the truth. In order for them to keep gamers' attention in the cloud space, they need to continue to innovate and provide great content for the gamer. And that's exactly what they're doing by providing choice to how gamers play their games. If you want to buy a console and play all your games on the PlayStation 5, go ahead. You want to subscribe for $60 a year and stream the games on your PC? Go ahead. No matter where you go, that money will go into Sony's gaming division, much like all the other competing platforms are doing, companies like Microsoft and Google mainly. And these huge changes are why I think Sony is getting their next console ready for the future. But it's not all about their next console anymore. It's about the PlayStation brand as a whole. Now, I know a lot of gamers just think PlayStation and console, and that's it. No need for anything else. And maybe for them, that's all they need, and good on them. But some people love to have choice in different gaming experiences. So it's great to see such a traditional company change their ways for competition purposes. But not only that, it ensures that they want to make gaming a vital part of the company as a whole, which only brings more money into gaming. And for me, it gets me excited to see what exactly is going to happen in the gaming industry over the next year or so. Because I think this time next year, we will be looking at a very different Sony and a very different gaming market in general. Either way, I'm excited to see what all of this money and investment brings to us, the gamers. And I'll leave you with a quote by Jim Ryan. He says this about his job at Sony. Jim Ryan says, "So the major thrust of my executive energy is to avoid complacency." But enough about what I think. Tell me what you think about all of this. Are you happy with Sony's changes? Do you think Shawn Layden leaving is a huge hit to the PlayStation? Are you excited to see Sony future-proofing their platform? Do you think PS Now is going to compete with Xbox Game Pass? What other changes do you want to see from Sony or any other platform? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. Any support helps the channel out more than you know. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my videos. Also, follow me on Mixer. The link will be in the description. I recently started streaming on Mixer because I find the community a lot more engaging and fun. So if you want to hang out and chat with me, I'm very active with my chat and always playing games. I'll see you guys there. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.